Listen to this.
So you're saying they feed off all those negative energies?
The shadow people and Djinn feed off negative energy. First of all, they want you to be absolutely terrified because when you are fearful, there is an automatic response from your body of fight or flight, and it throws off a tremendous amount of adrenaline. And I believe that they know how to harvest this. The same sort of adrenaline is used in negative emotions, that we generate energy in waves. And negative energy has a different vibration to it than a happy, positive energy. And they feed off the negative energy. They don't want to be around happy, well-adjusted people. And so individuals who are having a lot of emotional difficulty may find themselves very vulnerable to these sorts of attacks. Now, there are some individuals who aren't necessarily unhappy, but they seem to have very thin boundaries to the spirit world. That is, their natural defenses are not as strong as most people. They tend to be psychically sensitive. They tend to be what I call trigger people. Wherever they go, if there are spirits of the land, if there are entities who are looking for people to interact, there seems to be a light over these people, and they attract that attention. And so they may be more prone to having encounters with predatory kinds of entities than other people through no fault of their own, through their actions. They just have very peculiar energy boundaries, and they need to learn how to shore those up.
They need to learn how to shore those up.
Many entities, including shadow people and the Djinn and ETs, have the ability to invade dreams. And this goes back to ancient times. We are quite vulnerable while we sleep. For one thing, we're usually out of body while we're sleeping, and dreaming is an activity that is out of body. There's something about the change in our state of consciousness that seems to make us more vulnerable to the influences of spirits and other entities. And yes, they can start with, it's literally called dream invasion, and they can start with causing you to have very unpleasant nightmares. And sometimes the nightmares and the bedroom visitations go on simultaneously. It'll be one and the other.
Whoa.
There are many ways that people can ward off attacks and even prevent attacks from happening again. However, as effective as the remedies are, they don't work in all cases. And that's because the circumstances are usually unique as to why someone is having these experiences. What works for one person won't necessarily work for another. But one of the most common remedies against repeated shadow person visits is to turn a light on. And to leave lights on, and televisions, and also computers. It seems that the generation of electrical fields and electromagnetic fields has a disrupting effect on the entity's ability to manifest and remain in a room or an environment. Sometimes this will keep them away all the time, and other times it'll work for a while and then it won't work anymore. It's almost like they build up a resistance to it. People have also had success with what I call righteous anger. That is summoning up an intense amount of anger about being attacked and ordering the entity away. And anger sends out that kind of anger about you will not violate me or my boundaries. That sends out a wave of energy too. It's like a pulse wave that can repel the entities. Yeah. Many people have found religious remedies to be very successful as well. They may call upon religious figures, such as in Christianity, calling upon Jesus or Mary or the saints, even calling upon God, reciting certain prayers like the Lord's Prayer. in Islam, there are prayers and verses from the Quran that are cited that are very effective. Every religion, in fact, has prayers and verses from sacred texts and scriptures that repel the unwanted and negative. Those can be quite effective as well. I have found in my experience, consulting on many, many cases over the years, that these sorts of remedies in many cases are temporary. They last for a while, but in cases where the entities are determined to remain in a place or attached to an individual, something else needs to happen.
Something else needs to happen.
In the case of entities attached to the land, there are usually land energies or currents of energy on a property that are beneficial for them. And sometimes those currents of energy can be altered, even relocated, with the help of a master dowser. It's unusual, but I have seen that occur. Sometimes the entities can be persuaded to go elsewhere or to at least not pester someone if that human being is occupying land that these entities also occupy. There may be some other way of sort of making peace with them. There's a bargaining process. And in the most severe cases, we almost have to treat it like possession, that getting the entity expelled also requires the victim to be able to build up their own boundaries, that they have to shore up their sense of free will, their sovereignty, their sense that no being has a right to violate them in any way or their boundaries in any way. So victims often need a lot of psychological help so that they learn how to push out their own energy in order to repel these beings. I've had many experiences with them since I started researching them in depth. It's inevitable when you research the paranormal that you're going to encounter just about everything you research. And when you're dealing with intelligent entities like the Djinn, who really don't want a light shined on them, they don't want people to know what they're up to, what they're doing, what their modus operandi is, what the remedies are against them. And so researchers like me will get a pushback. We'll get unpleasant phenomena. They will attempt to do nightmare invasion. They will attempt to do bedroom invasion. They have many ways of upsetting life through accidents, through misfortune. They can affect people around you as well, your friends, your family. It's like they want to make as much trouble for you as possible so that you are discouraged from further research. I've had also quite a bit of electronic interference. Files that go missing, write up reports and the files will go missing from my computer, or they'll be corrupted so that I can't access them. If I'm on a radio show or giving a lecture, they will disrupt the AV equipment, the broadcast equipment. They'll put static on a line, they make noise, they interfere. And they may also interfere with the other people attempting to interview me as well. I've had stations literally get knocked off the air. I've had radio stations, their whole equipment goes down and they can't get on the air, or hosts that suddenly get sick the day of the show and they can't do it. It's a whole raft of things. I've been through mysterious car accidents. Everybody has accidents, but when things start piling up in a certain way, when you're on a line of research and you have a lot of interrelated phenomena, it's usually the entities kicking up a pushback to attempt to get you to drop your line of research.
Have you physically seen them before?
I have had many cases where I have seen shadow people, and in various forms. I have seen them usually without seen them looking.
Bingo! I've got a bingo. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, we have a fucking bingo. Now here's the deal. This took 13 fucking years to realize what the fuck. There was, all the years before that, not a clue. Not a clue. There was a sign. There were signs. Something's fucking not right. Something's up here. Something's wrong. They're only homie's back. Open the door for him. Oh! Sorry.
There's a note on the door.
Oh, I didn't hear shit. Who's it from?
I don't know.
Well, neither do I.
Just there.
Lala? The fuck is Lala? Oh, I know who Lala is.
I could see tire tracks through the
Oh, how
grass.
that is kind of weird too. Lala. Lala is. Oh, she knows. This lady knows. Lala sent her daughter when fucking Melinda died. Melinda dies in a fire. Somebody burns her fucking place now. Melinda was a friend of mine. Melinda had an alter ego named Matilda. Bitch was crazy as fuck. Snickle Fritz and Matilda were better friends than we were. And then they killed the bitch. They burn her house down to steal the fucking money. The night that she dies, I got the worst motherfucking migraine before that because something was going on. And then she sent her daughter. She's got a crazy daughter, girl thing. I can't think of her fucking name. Not at all insignificant. So, yeah, I finally pieced the pieces together that I needed to, and it took 13 fucking years. I pieced it out, and then like, okay, I had to chill out because it's so fucking disturbing. It's so disturbing that like I had to get there and do the meditate. There was no way to fucking like not have to meditate and fucking breathe and all that shit. And my conclusion is reasonable. I get it. And now it's try to how do you respond to this? How do you actually respond to this? And I know it. Now, this is weird because like I said, in my life I've seen the other person switch personalities. And I'm like, this other motherfucker doesn't know who I am. That's kind of weird. What the fuck's going on? Now, you hear stories about this shit all the time. This one, yeah, I lived it, but there's one that makes the perfect sense. Why I didn't just put the piece in? Because you're not able to. You're dealing with something else. So at least in that. So I took my little nap because like even seeing it was like, oh shit, this is right because you experienced it. It'd be like if you had somebody fucking put a puppy next to you, cut the puppy's head off, and just like act like nothing. You're gonna fucking freak out. And that's the level of fucking crazy, evil, and that's the only thing I know how to say, because given the time, and given the ability to put it together, I can see it, but I just put the pieces together. And it is bad. It is bad. The other person goes inside, they black out, I assume this is MK Ultra. I don't fucking know any better than that. I have the experience, but this time I have my guides, and it's my fucking family on the other side. There's no other way to look at it. The being that sent me home said, "You've got to leave. If you stay here, you'll die." The presence comes. The presence, what I believe is the Lord, which I have to look away from. And it has an angel, a red guy. He's at the river and he pulls a scroll out and he reads the scroll. You have. Gives me my sins. And then what I gotta do about it. Then I see Chains get his ass and yank him the fuck away, and I'm like, whoa. So yeah, I have fault, I have error, and I let it go. I let it go. And I followed the commander. Now, not until maybe within the last month or so, when I actually look into the birthday book up on my grandpa's birthday, day of the presents, I start putting the pieces together. In the woods, after I cross over, because my grandfather, his dad died. His dad's name was Leviticus Watson. He's hunting, he crosses the fence, his shotgun shoots him. My grandpa doesn't know the full story until like maybe he's in his 60s, and you know, there's a preacher that caught all this, witnessed it. You know, it's all significant to the family. I don't fully understand because I don't know none of that. But he didn't know his dad for fucking. He didn't know his dad because his fucking dad died when he was 6 months old too. Fucking bizarre. There's something going on there. But like I went out there into the woods. I was thinking about it because I crossed over to the other side, and I had never been over there before. It was beautiful. It's like I had an experience when I crossed back into my own yard over that fence. I got right back into the place where I have a picture of my children in the trees, and something is reminding me, because she won't even send a picture. What's this thing's game here? What's wrong with this? What's wrong with her? What's wrong? There's something wrong. Because something takes over. Something takes over, and it's the dead mom. That's why I thought she was fucking her dad. Because the dead mom just takes her back over and lived with her dad. She doesn't know. She's probably had less control and less defenses than I've ever had with shit like that. We do have a similar thing going on in the bloodline. And it's Djinn. It's Djinn.